I never expected my sister to betray me, but when she taunted me with a secret recording of our parents, I realized I was dealing with someone dangerous. She thought she could manipulate the family and control me, but her plan backfired hard. It started innocently enough. I had always trusted my sister. We shared secrets, childhood memories, and even dreams for the future. I thought we were close. Then came the day she decided to play a game. A message popped up on my phone. Guess what I found? A little secret about Mom and Dad. Care to hear it? I froze. My stomach twisted. I knew immediately this wasn't innocent curiosity. Curiosity mixed with dread. I opened the message. It was a recording, a private conversation of our parents, taken without permission. The audio was edited to make them look suspicious, careless, and even guilty of things they never did. And my sister's caption was clear. Now everyone will know. This will finally give me the upper hand. For a moment, anger flared. Shock, betrayal. But then I realized she had underestimated me. She thought she was clever. She thought she could control the family narrative. She thought she could humiliate me in the process. But she hadn't considered one thing. I had proof she was lying, and I was ready to use it. I didn't respond immediately. I didn't call her out. I didn't even show my reaction. I waited. I watched. And I planned my move carefully. Because when revenge is done right, it's not about emotion. It's about strategy, timing, and letting the consequences crush those who deserve it. I knew I couldn't confront my sister blindly. Her plan was clever, calculated, and dangerous. If I reacted without proof, she would twist it against me. First, I collected everything I had. Old messages between us, family recordings I had saved, anything that could show the truth behind her lies. Every screenshot, every voicemail, every subtle proof mattered. I needed ironclad evidence to turn the tables. Next, I observed her carefully. She boasted to friends. She subtly tried to manipulate family gatherings. She hinted at secrets she claimed to have. Every action she took gave me more information. I didn't respond. I didn't panic. I stayed calm, watching, waiting. Then I planned the timing. I couldn't act too soon. I couldn't wait too long. The moment had to be perfect, when she thought she had full control. I also considered allies. A trusted friend who understood both of us would witness the exposure. Family members, who often sided with her, needed undeniable proof to see the truth. By the end of the week, I had everything ready. Proof that she edited and manipulated the recording, evidence that she planned to spread lies to control others, messages that revealed her true intentions. Now it was just a matter of execution. I knew one thing for sure. When I revealed the truth, the backfire would be catastrophic, and she would realize the danger of underestimating me. That night, I couldn't sleep. My phone sat on the table, screen down, but I knew the next notification could change everything. Then it buzzed. I think it's time everyone hears what Mom and Dad really said about you. My hands shook slightly, but not from fear, from anger. She thought I would break. She thought I would beg. She assumed I would stay silent. But she had no idea I was ready. I listened to the old voice note she had sent to a friend. Just need the perfect moment, then I'll have this family dancing on my fingers. That's when I realized this wasn't just a taunt. This was a power game. The next day, family dinner. The perfect stage for her manipulation. All the people she thought she could influence sitting in one room. I arrived early, phone fully charged, files arranged, backups uploaded to the cloud. If anything went wrong tonight, no one could erase the truth. She arrived, smiling, acting normal, as if nothing had happened. But when her eyes met mine, I saw the spark. The same spark that said, Tonight, he loses. Dinner began. Casual conversation. Then she picked up her phone. By the way, I have something interesting to share about him. The room went silent. Mom looked worried. Dad stiffened. What do you mean? Mom asked. She smirked. A little recording. Everyone should hear it.
At that moment, I knew. Either I lose everything tonight, or she will regret underestimating me. I stood up calmly. Before you play it, maybe you should hear mine first. Her smile faded slightly, and the tension in the room became unbearable.
The room went completely silent. Everyone's eyes were on her. She thought she held the power, the secret, the upper hand. I calmly placed my phone on the table. Before you play your recording, maybe you should hear mine first. Her smile faltered. Her eyes widened. The confidence she had carried for weeks started to crumble. I pressed play. A hidden recording from her own phone filled the room. Her voice, clear and undeniable, admitting everything. She had secretly recorded our parents. She had edited the audio to make them look guilty. She had planned to manipulate the family and embarrass me. The words left no room for lies. Her own voice betrayed her. Her plan had completely backfired. Gasps echoed around the table. Mom and Dad were shocked. Family members whispered, exchanging incredulous glances. She froze, panic written all over her face. That's not how it happened, she stammered. But the recording didn't lie. Every manipulation, every lie, every taunt, exposed. She tried to delete the recording. She tried to claim it had been edited. But I had backups, screenshots, evidence that proved everything. I leaned forward calmly. You wanted to control the story. You wanted to humiliate me. You wanted to manipulate everyone. But tonight, the only person humiliated is you. Her face went pale. Words failed her. The power she thought she had vanished. The lesson was clear. Manipulation and lies can only last so long. Eventually, the truth comes out. And sometimes, the harshest revenge is letting someone face their own words. The moment the recording finished, the room was silent. Not a single word. Only the weight of truth filled the air. Family members stared at her. The shock on Mom and Dad's faces was clear. They couldn't believe what their own child had been planning. She tried to speak. Wait, it's not what it seems. But no one listened. Not this time. Her lies and manipulations had been exposed in front of everyone. I calmly addressed the family. She tried to humiliate all of us. She tried to twist the story, and she thought I wouldn't notice. But everything she planned is now in plain sight. Gasps, murmurs, and whispers filled the room. Relatives who had always defended her looked at her differently now. Neighbors who had known the family for years were silent, waiting to see her next move. Her confident, controlling facade completely shattered. She sank into her chair, face pale, voice trembling. I didn't think it would go this far. But it had gone exactly as it should. She had underestimated me. She had overplayed her hand. And now she was facing the consequences of her own arrogance. Even Mom and Dad, who had always protective, looked betrayed and stunned. The trust she had once relied on was gone. The power she had tried to wield over the family stripped away completely. I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. I let the evidence, the recording, and the reactions do the work. And it was satisfying beyond words. Her lesson was harsh, but undeniable. Manipulate, lie, and betray, and eventually you will face the consequences alone. The next few days were quiet, but the tension was deafening. Words spread fast. Family members who had once admired her cunning began whispering.
Friends who had always been on her side started questioning her motives. Did she really do all that? I can't believe she tried to manipulate the family like that. We never saw this coming. Even social media, normally full of casual family updates, became a battlefield. Private conversations were now public whispers. Mutual friends shared hints of what happened, and everyone who had trusted her began to see the truth. She tried to defend herself. It's just a misunderstanding. I didn't mean for it to go this far. But no one believed her. Every lie she tried to spin was immediately crushed by the evidence. Screenshots, backups, her own recorded voice. Even family gatherings became unbearable for her. Everyone's eyes followed her every move. Every smile seemed forced. Every conversation was met with subtle doubt. The confidence she once flaunted, gone. Her influence, shattered. I watched quietly, letting the dominoes fall. She had taunted me, thought she was clever, and now her own web of lies was collapsing. For the first time, I saw fear and regret in her eyes. Not because I threatened her, not because I shouted, but because truth has a way of destroying arrogance. She finally realized no amount of manipulation or scheming can survive when the truth is exposed. By the end of the week, she realized that panic alone wouldn't fix anything. She began desperately trying to regain control. Maybe if I explain it again, she whispered to herself, I can convince them it was just a misunderstanding. She sent text after text, calls after calls, every attempt dripping with desperation, every message revealing more of her panic than her innocence. Her messages were frantic. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please don't tell anyone else. I can fix this, I promise. But every attempt to manipulate backfired. Every lie she tried to spin only made her guilt more obvious. Every call, every message made her look weaker, smaller, and more exposed. Even her friends started noticing the chaos. Are you okay? You seem off. What's really happening? No one knew the full story yet, but everyone could sense something was wrong. Her control over the narrative was slipping through her fingers like sand. She even tried subtle intimidation. You better not reveal anything. It could ruin everything for everyone, she warned quietly. I stayed calm. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. The only thing ruined is trust. And trust isn't rebuilt by threats. Her desperate attempts to fix things were meaningless. Friends doubted her. Family questioned her. Even neighbors who had admired her cleverness began to distance themselves. Her panic became a self-fulfilling prophecy, and for the first time, I saw real fear in her eyes. Fear not of me, not of punishment, but of everything collapsing around her because of her own actions. She had overplayed her hand, and now she had no one to blame but herself. The tension had been building for days, and finally, the truth could no longer be ignored. Family members who had once defended her now quietly asked questions. Why did this happen? Did she really do all of this? We never realized. I calmly presented the evidence. Screenshots proving her manipulations. The original recordings showing the truth. Messages exposing her lies and taunts. I didn't need to exaggerate. The truth alone was enough to shatter her carefully built facade. At the next family gathering, everything changed. Conversations that once revolved around her cleverness now focused on her actions. Even distant relatives who had never been involved could see the betrayal clearly. She tried to speak. She tried to charm her way out, but no one listened. Her trustworthiness was gone. For the first time, her manipulations had no effect. Everyone could see her arrogance, her lies, and the lengths she went to control the family. Her power over the room, the family, and even me, was gone. Even her closest allies in the family now approached me privately. Thank you for showing the truth. We didn't know she was capable of this. She had isolated herself completely.
Her own plans had backfired spectacularly. And in that moment, I realized something profound. I hadn't just revealed the truth. I had restored justice, respect, and control. And she was left to face the consequences of her arrogance alone. After the family finally saw the truth, she realized something terrifying. She was completely alone. No one defended her anymore. No one believed her excuses. Even distant relatives who had once admired her cunning now avoided eye contact. She tried to reach out to me privately. "Please, I didn't mean for it to get this far. I can explain. I can make it right." I listened calmly. "Explain? Do you understand what you've done?" I asked. "This isn't just about lies or manipulation. This is about trust, respect, and the family you tried to control." Friends who had once backed her started to question everything. Was she really planning all this? Did she really think no one would notice? Every attempt she made to defend herself only revealed more of her guilt. Every text, every call, every apology exposed the arrogance that had led to this moment. Even casual family members started noticing the change. Why is everyone avoiding her? Why is she acting so nervous? Her panic grew with each passing hour. She realized that her web of lies had trapped her. No one could help her now. No one believed her anymore. I didn't gloat. I didn't mock her. I simply watched as she experienced the full weight of her own choices. And that weight was unbearable. By now, she understood clearly. The manipulations she thought were clever were obvious to everyone. The lies she thought would control the narrative had completely failed. The power she tried to wield over the family was gone forever. She had taunted me, tried to humiliate me, and manipulate everyone, and now she was completely powerless, facing the consequences alone. By now, the story had reached its final act. She had been exposed. Her lies were in shambles. Her manipulations, once so carefully planned, had completely failed. Her reputation was ruined. And she finally understood something she had never realized. Actions have consequences. The final confrontation wasn't dramatic. There were no screams, no fights. I spoke calmly, clearly, letting the truth do the work. You wanted control. You wanted to manipulate the family. You wanted to humiliate me. But the consequences of your actions have finally caught up with you. Her face fell. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. She just sat there, powerless. Family members who had doubted me before now came forward quietly. "Thank you for standing your ground. We didn't know how far she would go." There were no lectures, no unnecessary drama, only the quiet acknowledgement of truth.
She remained behind, broken, humiliated, and powerless. And I walked away calmly, with my head held high. Because revenge, when done correctly, isn't about chaos. It's about strategy, timing, and letting people face the consequences of their own actions. I had reclaimed what was mine. I had restored my peace of mind. And I had shown that boundaries and trust must always be respected, even by those closest to you. Some people only learn lessons the hard way. She had finally learned hers.